What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We've got the first episode of Prime 5, and today we're going to be talking about my 5 recommended TV series to stream. I know definitely with COVID being upon us, we're all stuck into the house more. I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for, new things to watch. The method of which to consume stuff is streaming nowadays. We all know that. I think everybody's looking for new series. Now, with this list, I don't know if I'm going to be giving you any revelations as far as TV series to watch, but these are some that I think are of the highest quality right now. And if you haven't seen them, I would definitely recommend that you go see them. And I'll give you some tidbits on why I think that's the case. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get right into it. So 5 TV series, and I'm going to start with True Detective Season 1. Alright, so this is a show that's streaming on HBO, and so, you can add on, obviously if you have HBO, you can stream it through the Now service. You can get HBO Go or HBO Now, generally for around $15 a month, I think. I don't need to give you a spiel about getting it, but anyway, if you have the ability to stream HBO, then True Detective Season 1 is something that I highly recommend. Now, there are multiple seasons to True Detective. I've only seen Season 1. Each season is its own storyline. So, Season 2 will be different cast, different storyline, and Season 1 was its own thing. And I had it recommended to me by a friend, and I am super glad that I actually watched it. It's a really good show. It's a drama, and it is very engaging. Has Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson. I think they worked, well together. They're kind of, I would call them the leads. You got Michelle Monaghan on there as well, and also Michael Potts. So Michael Potts was on The Wire. He was Brother Muzone. So he was with the Nation of Islam and kind of acted as security for Avon Barksdale in The Wire, right? So he was on Season 2, Season 3 of The Wire, if you remember him. Played a phenomenal role, in my opinion, in The Wire. And he is in True Detective Season 1. He has a role, so... And Tori Kittles is in there as well. So those are the 4, 5, I guess, mains. With of course, Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson being like I think the biggest stars on the series. But it's just a great series. I just really like seeing Michael Potts. He was a character that I loved from The Wire, so it was good seeing him in there. Very well put together show. Definitely recommend if you have HBO. To check that out. Now, actually, spoiler alert, there's actually a couple of HBO nominations here on my list. I think you have good reason if you don't have it to get it for, month or two. You don't have to commit to a whole year if you do HBO as an add-on. So if you're doing something like Prime or pretty much any streaming service now, maybe except for Netflix, you can add HBO on as an add-on. So True Detective Season 1. The second one, and these are not in any particular order. These are just kind of listed out, not necessarily with any type of priority. Another show that I've really enjoyed that I actually just finished watching, which I'm a little bit behind on, but I think it's still dope, especially if you're into this universe, is The Mandalorian. Very, very well written show. If you are looking to get more into Mandalorian lore in the Star Wars universe, then I definitely recommend you watching this show. Written by Jon Favreau, co-directed by Jon as well. This one's on Disney Plus, and Season 2 is out now and streaming. I have not watched Season 2. Like I said, I'm just catching up on some shows. And I don't know, I hesitated. I actually don't have Disney Plus. My girlfriend has Disney Plus, and it wasn't just something I could readily watch. They are packaging up Disney Plus, I think, in a few packages you can get now, but so I didn't jump on it right away. Definitely, I think, reason enough to get the subscription. Love the show, love the storyline, easy to follow, even if you're not, super into the Star Wars universe. You don't have to be a super Star Wars nerd to appreciate the show. It's a well-written, well-directed show. Storyline is cool. Yes, you can probably miss some stuff if you're not super in tune into the universe. But if you have fallen out of love with the Star Wars universe, and there's many reasons to do so, I would say this is a good way to get yourself back in tune. Highly recommended by me. So I'm excited to watch season 2. I'm going to start that very soon, but I would suggest The Mandalorian. Okay, back to HBO. The next show I'm going to recommend is Chernobyl. So this is, of course, a show that is talking about the nuclear fallout from Chernobyl, and it is fantastic. It's a miniseries, 5 episodes, I believe. First of all, I'm just fascinated in like nuclear fallout storylines. This is obviously a portrayal of a true life event, and it is just fantastically done. So, I'm not gonna go too far into it. I mean, I think everybody's aware of what Chernobyl is. And what the storyline is about, but the way they depict, how this storyline may have played out on the screen is fantastic. The acting is fantastic, and the way they put together the story is great. And so, definitely highly recommend it. This one again is an HBO show. So now this is your second reason to get HBO: True Detective and Chernobyl. All right, number 4 on this list is something that is probably not expected to come from me. However, I'm going to be full of surprises. I think with these lists that I come out with. The 4th on the list, again, not in any particular order, is the Great British Baking Show, or is it Bake Off? That's what I've been wondering. I see it called the Great British Baking Show in some places, Great British Bake Off in other places. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. So I'm not sure which one is the correct way to say it, but the show's great. I mean, I think you need a little bit of British humor in your life. It's a little bit of a different feel, if you're used to watching, reality competition shows. They tend to be a little more cutthroat, and that couldn't be farthest from the truth for this show. So to see everybody kind of like generally concerned with each other is refreshing from a show of this nature. But I think it's just a different feel. I'm not into baking. I don't really bake anything except for steak. I bake my steaks in the oven after I grill them a little bit. But I'm not into baking. I don't know how to bake. This is just an interesting show, and there are a few actors. I mean, I don't know if you know them or not. One particular actor that's on the show, Noel Fielding. He was actually on one of my favorite British shows, which is the IT Crowd. He was Richmond on the IT Crowd, and actually didn't know that he was on the show. I honestly just randomly started watching the British Baking Show. I hadn't really, I think a lot of people do talk about it, so I'm not bringing up anything new here with this show. But I hadn't honestly heard anyone talking about it necessarily. I just, kind of happened upon it one day, with my girlfriend, and we just started watching, and it turned out to be a good show. But yeah, Noel Fielding is on it. If you watch the IT Crowd, you'll know who I'm talking about, Richmond. But he's on there in well, IT Crowd was a comedy, of course. He has a very specific comedic role in the series, and honestly, it's just a light-hearted show with, a little bit of good comedy in it, but it's just a nice take on a reality contest type show, and you see him get to bake some neat stuff. So this last show happens to be my favorite show that I've watched this year, and that's probably going to be a surprise to a couple of people watching this video, but it honestly, the show blew me away. I was expecting one thing from the show just based on the cast, and I got it was a completely different vibe than I was expecting, and I probably could have understood that if I actually took the time to look at the trailers or read anything about the show, but I made some assumptions when I heard about it, and so that clouded my judgment a little bit on whether or not I should even look at the show. And but I'm glad I finally came around and looked at it. So this show that I've been talking about now for a minute is The Morning Show. This show is on Apple TV, and I don't know how many people out there have Apple TV. I have access to it, put it that way. But until having an onus to watch the show, I had not engaged with Apple TV at all. So I don't know how many people out there have it, but this show is on it, and it is a phenomenal show. So it has Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell, and obviously Reese is in more dramatic pieces. However, Jennifer Aniston and especially Steve Carell, you think in more comedic roles. So I was thinking of this more as a comedy, and it is far from that. So if you have any misconceptions like I had on the show, erase those from your mind and go into it with a fresh perspective. I guarantee it is not what you think it's about. I would say don't look at any trailers, don't read about the show, just take my word for it and engage with Apple TV in some way or another and watch the show. In my opinion, and I've watched some good, like everything on here I've watched that I've mentioned so far, I've watched this year and I'm a big fan of. But this is my favorite of everything I've watched this year. And I've watched some older stuff that's very compelling. And, this is definitely my favorite. And probably because it's so new, the story is well put together. The storyline is revealed in a magnificent way. Star lineup of great actors and actresses, and it's just a great show. So that's my top 5 again: True Detective season 1, Mandalorian, Chernobyl, the Great British Bake Off or Baking Show, and The Morning Show. So let me know in the comments if you have any shows that blew you away this year. There are definitely other shows that I've watched. Definitely would, not going out so much this year. I've watched, more, TV than I have in some time. So I have consumed a good amount of shows when I have time. Those are definitely, some of my favorites. And I'm interested to hear if you had any that you were partial to. Definitely always looking for like some more obscure shows that maybe people don't know about. I know some of these are well-known titles, but these are ones that I really enjoyed and that I would suggest. Definitely True Detective was not on my radar. Somebody put that on my radar, but I'm glad they did. It's very well put together. Not necessarily super new either. That's definitely been around for a while, but I did enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Prime 5. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and also hit the subscribe so you can get new video content when it comes out. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back with another video soon.